What's up, everybody? Here with another episode of Smoking That Ish. It's me, Martimus, here. Today, we are going to be talking about the largest organized crime group in the Western Hemisphere, the Sinaloa Cartel. A violent, powerful, started from the bottom, now we're one of the most terrifying groups of people you'll ever meet in your life organization. We're also going to get super deep into the Beltran Leyva organization. Actually, we're going to hit that next episode. I thought I was going to get that in this episode. Didn't work out. Turns out I do a lot of research. And the war between the two, but the Beltran Leyva organization and the war between them and Sinaloa will be next week. Also, the goodies for this week, including a new edible and a product review. It's been a while since we had a product review. That and more. We got reviews from 1889 Farms, Urban Extracts, and more. Are you guys ready to start smoking that ish? Huh? All right. First off, I'm going to talk about something that wasn't in the intro. The 2024 Wheel Jam in Huron, South Dakota, and the South Dakota Barbecue Championships. First big shout out to D-Game 6923 on YouTube and D-Game Studios. Got that out of the way. Like, share, and subscribe if you're watching this, couple little clicky clicks. Help a guy out. What's up? 2024 Wheel Jam in Huron and the South Dakota Barbecue Championships, or at least the first South Dakota Barbecue Championships. Shout out to Bob Preston, the man leading our team, Deep in a Hole Barbecue. Big thank you to him, and another big thank you to Troy, the owner of Lone Wolf Spices and sponsor of our team, and a couple other teams, I think. He's a good dude. He's got some good spices. He just came out with a lime Bloody Mary seasoning that's pretty incredible. You should check it out, definitely. He pops up at pretty much any barbecue event or, a lot of fairs going on. He comes to the fair at Mitchell, too. So if there's a carnival or something going on, he'll be around. You can check him out. Kind of looks like Guy Fieri a little bit. We competed in the Backyard Barbecue Championship and the Master Series. We did okay in the Backyard Barbecue Championship. We received 2 medals. We got second place in lamb, which is cool because none of us have ever cooked a lamb before. And we actually had to look up on Google the proper cooking temp for a lamb. So nice to get second in that. And I think one of the other teams sponsored by Lone Wolf Spices, the other team actually got first in lamb. We got third place in pulled pork, which was pretty awesome. And in the Master Series, we didn't place anywhere, but we were 2 places away from placing in the Master Series for our smoked turkey, which we had also never done in competition. And I don't even think we put sauce on that. Yeah. But with Bob's ability to create a badass barbecue sauce, and with his knowledge of seasoning and everything else, and the backing of Lone Wolf Spices, I think we're going to be climbing up the ladder and bringing home some golds this year. Maybe a couple of trophies. I think we're going to do it. Hey, can you turn on that light right there? I'm looking kind of dim. There we go. Oh, man. I apologize for the first part of that where you couldn't see all of this beautiful fucking face. Anyways, big thank you to Huron and everybody involved with the 2024 Wheel Jam. And a huge thank you and congratulations to all the other teams that competed. Everybody was super nice. It was a great time. It was a lot of fun. And I'm pretty sure we will definitely be back next year with some new ideas. It was a lot of fun. This is our first year competing, like, for real. Last year we did a couple little competitions here and there, but we didn't really take it serious. This year we're kind of taking it serious. And now on to the goodies. Who wants to see some goodies? Huh? You want some goodies? I got some goodies. Today we got a bunch of goodies. Everything that I've been on this last week, plus some things I picked up in Huron at Dakota Herb. There are a couple of things that I did not physically bring with me, but I have my research and I have my reviews all typed out so that you guys don't have to miss out. Because I know that's what you're here for. I know. It's all about me. I know. It's okay. Big shout out to Dakota Herb in Huron. I had never been there before, but thank you to them and the staff there. Super nice, honest, and knowledgeable. Their employee that was working when I was there, she knew the strains either from experience or from what other customers had said, or simply from what's flying off the shelf. But you know, she would, and she was honest. She would let me know if the information that she had wasn't firsthand, you know, if it was just what she had heard. It was a really fun and comfortable visit. Next time I'm in Huron, I will definitely be going back to Dakota Herb. Thank you once again. It was great. The edibles is the first thing I'm going to be talking about. First of all, I have found another flavor. I mean, some of you have probably already had this, but I found another flavor of Lifted Labs gummies. Grape. I got 20 of them for $85. They're 25.343% THC per gummy, and they're just as good as all the other ones. I mean, I don't think there's a bad one out there. It really goes by preference. What flavor is your favorite? What's your favorite flavor? What do you prefer? You know? I think that's pretty much what it's based off of at this point. But the Lifted Labs live rosin, fast acting or quick release or whatever the hell gummies, they're yeah. I don't want to go back to a time without them. Dakota Natural Solutions, DNS, Indica Live Rosin Honey. That's right. Cannabis infused honey. $40 will get you a 3-ounce jar. 104.34 milligrams of THC per 3-ounce jar. And no, it doesn't take 3 ounces off of your allotment. Edibles actually take a surprisingly low amount off of your allotment. So they are pretty safe to, you know, find the right one for you. Recommended serving is 2 tablespoons, but I used it in my coffee instead. And like just a teaspoon is more than enough. It's super tasty, really sweet. It's anything you use honey for, you could use this for, no problem. I recommend keeping a jar of this in your house from now on, for sure, 100%. Excuse me. Cream caramel. I got a 1/2 ounce. That is a Big Sue Bud. Big Sue Bud, a.k.a. Dakota Herb. That is an in-house bud of theirs. I got a 1/2 for $70 because Dakota Herb has a great deal where you buy the first 1/2 of their in-house strains and get the next for less, allowing you to mix and match up to 2 ounces. And if you mix and match 2 ounces, you will get it for $220. And that's a hell of a deal, but they do make you sign up for rewards, which I'm not a fan of. I'm not giving you my information. I already gave you 2 IDs. Jesus. The cream caramel is 26.97% THC. They're tiny little popcorn nugs, so no good pictures on that one. Definitely smells like cream and caramel when you pop open the bag. It tastes like cream and caramel after about the first 2 or 3 rips on a cone. My only complaint is that it is harsh. It's a little harsh, especially at the beginning. I'm not sure if it's the strain or what, but it'll make you cough. A nice mellow high, but I'm going to have to try something else after this because I got little baby bitch lungs. So does she. Look at that. Some mushroom blend gummies I picked up from Cloud9 Vape and Glass in Mitchell, South Dakota. Yes. They are Wonder brand, WUNDER. They are entheogenic nootropic blend. That's what it says. They were about 25. All these prices are ish, by the way. $25 ish. They're mushroom gummies. They're shaped like mushrooms. Yeah. And they're 750 milligrams per gummy, 7,500 milligrams per bag. You get 10 per bag. They're the ones that I got were straw nano flavor. And FYI, you could fail a drug test for eating one of these. So heads up, it says that on the bag. They're chewy gummies, like I said, shaped like mushrooms. They're really tasty, and they have a nice, relaxing feel, both physically and mentally. They might make you a little tired towards the end, you know? Do not drive or operate machinery after ingesting these, by the way. And I'm pretty sure you must be, well, you have to be 21 to go in there. So, must be 21 to buy. Also from Cloud9, we have our product review. The 6-shooter variable quantity cone filler from Raw. $25-ish. It works perfect with the Raw 1 1/4 cones. Here, it comes in this awesome little carrying thing. You can store stuff in after you're done with it if you want to. Here it is right here. You take the top off, and inside, you see in the middle, on the inside, there's a little poker thing. You give it a couple turns, and you can switch it from 1 to 2 to 3 cones at a time, and you can put them in different positions, so you can put 6 in there and then just do your 3 at a time, or 2 or 1, whatever you want to do. And then if you want to do all 6 at a time, sorry, I keep leaning away from the mic a little bit. See, when you unscrew it all the way, it comes out, and it actually is an awesome little poker thing. But you take that all the way out, take out this little plastic shield here, and boom, in there you got your 6 spots for cones. You put your 6 cones in there, you grind up whatever you want, and you dump it in the top here. You put this little top back on it, and you give your thing a little shaka 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 shaka. A shaka 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 shaka. Shaka 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 shaka. And then you check it. You want to check, make sure all of your whatever has gone into your cones, and then you take it. And also, once you take the shield out, you put this, sorry, I'm going to go backwards a step. When you take the shield out, you put the poker back in the middle so you don't get stuff in there and clog it up eventually. But once you get them all full, you open it and it's all full, you take it and you will hit it like this on a flat, hard surface. You'll hit it like that to pack them. And you're going to do that, like, I do it about 10 to 12 times, and I feel like that's pretty good. And I might do it, 10 to 12 times is pretty good. And then you take this out, take your lid off, you turn it upside down. Down here, you'll see that your cones, the filters on your cones are sticking out on the bottom here. And you'll take this and you'll set this down on it. You know, I could set this down on the table and then set this down on it. And it pushes the cones up. This is really working out. It pushes the cones up so that you can grab the cones. Okay? So that you can just, boom, pushes them right up. You can grab them. You can take the little poker out. You can finish them all off. I like using the back end of the poker Boom. The back end of the poker right here. I like using that to close up the ends. Once you're done, you take them out of here, you give it a little tap, tap, and you close up the ends with this. And it makes them nice and tight and pretty, just like they're supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I am a big fan of this. All in all, it's a great product. It comes with a container you can store stuff into. I don't see why you wouldn't want one. It saves a bunch of time. It works perfect for me, especially like podcast day. Worked great. I was in a hurry, needed enough cones to get through the day. Bam, did 6 at a time. Boom, boom, boom. Had them all done in about, I don't know, 10 minutes tops. And I was ready to go. And I could have done them probably in 5. I mean, it's fast. And of course, I had to stop by Superior Buds, where our friend, as you heard before, Bob Preston, works as a manager. And I had to grab a few things throughout the week on the way to work because they're closed by the time I get off work. So they're always going to get some love from me because it's right on the way to work, dude. You can't, give up that one. That's like your number one shop, on the way to work or close to the house, either or. This one is, I guess, both, even though it's like 30 miles from my house, but I live in Tripp. So there'll be a dispo in Tripp and probably like 2125. And it'll be where Tripp used to be. Anyways, Urban Extracts, aka the Crop Shop, back and forth, they work together. They have a 1 gram batter for $25, dude. And it is called Big Detroit Energy, dude. 74.18% THC. You know why it's Big Detroit Energy? Because that stuff smells like diesel, dude. Smells like diesel gasoline. And you know what it tastes like? Diesel. Sweet diesel, though. And it hits like you'd expect a diesel to hit. It's super clean. It tastes exactly like it smells. And it even smells like that when somebody else takes a rip and blows it out. And it really packs a punch. It's great for starting or ending a day on a high note, dude. You should check it out for sure at Superior Buds there in Mitchell. Anytime you see Urban Extract stuff, dude, pick it up. Pick it up before I go there and get it all. 1889 Farms. I had some memory loss from 1889 Farms. I got an eighth for $30-ish. 22.11% THC. High limonene content. Gotta have it. But no soap taste. No chemi soap taste on it at all. Very strong citrus smell and taste instead of that. It's covered in red hairs. I know that doesn't matter, but I like it. And it is completely covered. It burns really, really well. And it smokes nice hits on it. Yeah, I would definitely recommend it. I would definitely recommend getting that one. You could almost turn that one into a fucking potpourri if you wanted to. And that is that for the goodies. Now, on to the Sinaloa Cartel and their history, all the way up to the eventual, I think it's 2008, war with the Beltran-Leyva organization, or the BLO, as they will become known. And I think they were buddies before that, but that's why I had to dive in. I think that's why I dove into the BLO, because it said that they fell out of favor with each other, but it never really told me like how in the hell they were friends in the first place, Well, kind of. I don't know. I wanted to learn more, and it's a cool thing that I did. because I'm telling you, we'll get into that in the next episode, though. So that's just some teaser stuff right now. The Sinaloa Cartel. The Sinaloa Cartel, like I said, is the largest and most powerful drug trafficking organization in the Western Hemisphere. They are a sophisticated network of Mexico's top drug lords, and they are primarily involved in international drug trafficking of any drug that'll turn a profit, primarily to the U.S. They traffic fentanyl and heroin, which brought them the attention that they got from the DEA. Well, fentanyl and meth got them the attention from the DEA. They do meth and cocaine, or they transport meth and cocaine. Although I'm sure they have members who do all of this and more. They even are participating in illegal marijuana still somehow. And they are constantly coming up with ways to get it here. Like building elaborate tunnels. They found tunnels that can take trains through them, dude. Like, these guys are building some tunnels, dude. Taking over or paying entire trucking companies to haul it. So you're going to target an entire company? Which one? Even drones and catapults, dude. Anything. They'll do anything. But those aren't the only crimes that they're comfortable with. They will do pretty much any crime. Murder, kidnapping, extortion, even human trafficking. Anything they can do to make a buck. The leadership. I'm sorry, I got this. We went to Firehouse Subs and got a pretty good barbecue Cuban, but it was a little too sweet. Honey mustard and the barbecue and the mayo together was just too sweet. And your spicy pickles are a joke, bro. Spicy pickle game didn't have nothing. There was nothing spicy about the pickles on the sandwich. Didn't even really hardly notice them. But all in all, it was a good sandwich. And they had high C orange vanilla, dude. It's like an orange dreamsicle, high C. So that trumps anything that could possibly have been wrong with going there. I stand by that decision. All right. The Sinaloa Cartel has no real leadership since the arrest and extradition of El Chapo. El Chapo being a Spanish term that I think means big head. And even before that, it was 4 organizations working together. El Chapo's sons are at war now with Ishmael El Mayo Zambada Garcia. El Mayo or El Mayo being a derogatory term for people with white skin and also means May. So I'm not sure what his nickname is. El Mayo is one of El Chapo's partners in crime and has been drug trafficking since the 70s. He is also reported to be in bad health. El Chapo's 4 sons are collectively referred to as Los Chapitos. Chapito, as far as I could find, the only definition I could find, and I'm going to try and make this YouTube friendly. Chapito is an overweight woman of loose morals. Okay, that's the best I could find. But it's got to be something else, right? They can't be the fat whores, right? That'd be ridiculous. I don't know. I don't know how Mexican gangs work. But his sons are Ivan Guzman Salazar, Alfredo Guzman Salazar, Joaquin Guzman Lopez, and Ovidio Guzman Lopez. Expect a lot of mistakes when it comes to pronunciations in this episode. And Ovidio has been in U.S. custody since his arrest on January 5th, 2023. There's two other partners of El Chapo. Isn't one of them. Aurelio El Guano Guzman Lorea. I didn't even look that one up. I'm gonna say his name is Aurelio the Batshit Guzman Lorea, which, I mean, for a bunch of cartel guys to call you batshit, you got to be pretty crazy, man. He's also El Chapo's brother and uncle to Los Chapitos. So I would assume he's on their side in this little disagreement they're having. Rafael Caro Quintero. I didn't realize that rhymed before right now. Maybe it's Caro Quintero. Either way, two O's. He is the head of the Caborca Cartel, which is also battling Los Chapitos. He's incarcerated in Mexico, which that's got to give you a little less say in what's going on in your cartel. He's also the co-founder of the Guadalajara Cartel, which eventually became the Sinaloa Cartel. Also, he's one of the guys responsible for the 1985 kidnapping, torture, and murder of DEA agent Enrique Camaranara, known as Kiki, which got him sentenced to 40 years in prison, but he was somehow released after 28 in 2013 due to like a clerical error, only to be recaptured in 2022. Their history. The Mexican cartels that we are told to fear so much today, because, I mean, I wouldn't recommend getting in their way, and to blame solely for the opioid crisis in the U.S., I think they were just supplying a need to a market created by Big Pharma and doctors, really. Started out in Sinaloa in the late 60s and 70s as peasant farmers and their families. They smuggled marijuana and poppies, but they switched to the drug trade in the 1970s. And that started with Pedro Aviles. I'm really trying, man. He was the first big drug trafficker to come out of the Sinaloa peasant group that I was talking about. And Sinaloa is a state in Mexico, for those that don't know, has many states there. And most of these groups, like I said in the previous episode, most of these cartels are named for the area or the city that they took over or where they have their stronghold, their home, main base. He was the first big trafficker, and he was the first one to traffic large amounts of marijuana. So in a way, I guess, kind of thanks, dude. He also thought it would be a great idea to bring his sons into the business. Not cool, dude. One of those sons was Joaquin Guzman Loera, the boy that would grow up to be El Chapo. And I'm sure everybody's heard of that. And I'm sure a lot of this is played out on Narcos, but they zhuzh it up for, BS. This is just raw what it was. Unfortunately for his boys, Pedro would be killed in 1978 during a shootout with police. Around this same time, the group started trafficking cocaine for Colombian and other South American groups. I don't know if the two incidents are related or what, but they just so happen to coincide around the same time. They also shifted their activities more towards the states of Jalisco and Guadalajara. At the time, they were led by Rafael Caro Quintero. Miguel Angel Felix Gallardo. I'm not sure. Told you it's going to be bad. He was known as the Godfather, And he was also arrested for the murder of Agent Camaranara. In 2014, he was transferred to a medium security facility due to his failing health. And on September 12th, 2022, he was granted house arrest. Another one of the leaders was Ernesto Fonseca Carrillo. He suffered basically the exact same fate as Miguel. He went to prison for 40 years, ended up in a facility, and then ended up being sent home on house arrest due to his failing health. Both of those guys still alive as far as I know. They also started working with the Medellin cartel from Colombia thanks to a Honduran man named Juan Ramon Mata Ballesteros. He was the main intermediary between the Colombian and Mexican traffickers and is credited with being the first to connect the two to each other. What a nice guy. Way to get that cocaine flowing. Had a nice thing going with just the weed. I suppose poppies were already there too. Son of a bitch. He also is credited with developing the drug trafficking patterns that are still used today, as into South America, then into Mexico, and finally into the U.S. July 26th, 1990, he was sentenced to life in prison for a laundry list of crimes. Yeah, he's not getting out, I don't think, ever. In 1985, we're going to move ahead in the timeline now. 1985, the Guadalajara cartel became too brazen, and that's when they had killed the DEA agent Camaranara, which was the beginning of the end for them. That's why it keeps coming back to that, because there's not much to talk about from them after that. Kiki, the agent, was undercover at the time, and the pressure from the United States forced Mexico to act. They were tortured, kidnapped, really tortured, and then murdered. And Mexico responded. They sent the army to round these guys up. The cartel's leaders tried to flee Mexico, while those that remained struggled to set up strongholds and bases of operations. The Arellano Felix brothers formed a base in Tijuana, forming the Tijuana Cartel. The Carrillo Fuentes family moved to Ciudad. Just mumbled right there. It's Ciudad. Ciudad Juarez. El Chapo and Hector Luis Palma Salazar, God, these guys love names, remained in Sinaloa, making this the beginning of the Sinaloa Cartel as we know it now. You know, this is where the Sinaloa Cartel started. The Sinaloa Cartel formed an alliance with the Valencia crime family and Michoacan. The Valencia family would go on to become the Milenio Cartel. This alliance made the Sinaloa powerful. You know, they had a strong ally now, and it gave them access to Pacific ports. So now they got access to the world. This is also when they start to receive the precursor chemicals to start manufacturing methamphetamines, and they start receiving them right away from China. By 1992, the former partners are fighting against each other. November, and this isn't the BLO, these are the former leaders of their group that was going on before. By 1992, the former partners are fighting each other. November 92, Joaquin El Chapo Guzman sends 40 armed men to break into a Tijuana cartel party in Puerto Vallarta, and they kill 9 people. In 1993, which it was November, so by the next year, the Tijuana Cartel retaliates by attempting to assassinate El Chapo at a Guadalajara airport, but they kill a Mexican cardinal instead. And this causes El Chapo to flee, and he's in Guadalajara. So he's fleeing, he's just running. And this causes him to be arrested 2 weeks later. And his partner, Hector Salazar, will also be arrested, but not until 1995. But that's just cutting the head off of a snake that continuously grows more heads. So their arrests leave Arturo Guzman Loera and his brothers Hector Alfredo and Arturo Beltran Leyva to continue running the Sinaloa Cartel. El Chapo does maintain some control from prison by passing messages through his lawyers. So sneaky. 2001. El Chapo escapes from prison by having a tunnel. Told you these guys like tunnels. Dug to, and I believe it was dug to his bathroom. Not that he dug himself out. That's ridiculous. By having a tunnel dug to his bathroom in his cell, he had to escape because he was about to be extradited to the U.S. And that's game over for these guys. Joaquin El Chapo Guzman resumes control of the Sinaloa Cartel as soon as he gets out. And then we skip ahead all the way to 2008. And the alliance between the Beltran Leyva organization and the Sinaloa Cartel breaks down, resulting in a bloody war. But before we dive into that, into the Beltran Leyva organization, who the heck they are, how they became friends with the Sinaloa, and why this war started, I want to give a big thanks to InsightCrime.org for the information used in this episode. And I want to give a big thank you to you guys for smoking that ish.